Four-star wide receiver Ketron Jackson from Royce City, Texas, commits to the University of Arkansas. What that means to the Texas Longhorns? After the intro.
Ready, be ready, be ready for y'all.
Rage on that beat, gon' crazy. Rage on that beat, gon' crazy.
Thanks again for watching the Eyes on Texas channel, where I'm your source of breaking horns news and video highlights. I put out fresh content about college football pretty much every single day of the week. I'm your host, AK. We're talking about Ketron Jackson, the four-star wide receiver from Royce City, Texas, has made his commitment, and that commitment is to the University of Arkansas. I was holding out for a University of Texas commit from Ketron myself, but he chose to go to the Razorbacks, and I'm very happy for the young man. I can do nothing but respect his decision. So let's talk about, as a prospect, Ketron Jackson. He's going to be 6'2", 190 pounds, a very big, strong, long physical player who has no problems at all getting open, has a very, very big catch radius, as he is often underthrown there at Royce City. He has the unique ability to be both big and fast, as he has track speed, as he boasts great times in the 100, the 200, and has always been a tremendous leaper in the long jump, going back to his third place finish his freshman year in the state competition. Ever since being the 9th university to offer Ketron Jackson a scholarship to play football back in 2019, the Razorbacks have led in his recruitment the whole entire way. The University of Texas made a late push this summer with a late visit to the University of Austin with his 7-on-7 coach, but it was to no avail. Loyal to the University of Arkansas and constant pursuit by wide receivers coach Justin Stepp won out in this recruitment, and it won out for Ketron Jackson. I thought whenever Faison Wilson, his 7-on-7 teammate from the Dallas-based team The Grind, made a commitment to the University of Texas, I thought that Ketron Jackson would go ahead in that way. Throughout this summer, Ketron was also sporting some Texas gear. He had on a Texas shirt, was sporting some University of Texas receiving gloves. I thought everything was looking well this way, but it was the constant reminder, it was the constant influence of wide receivers coach Justin Stepp from the University of Arkansas and his loyalty to that program that won through in the end for Ketron Jackson. So with Jackson committing to the University of Arkansas, this leaves the cupboards very barren for the wide receiver position for the rest of 2020-21, as there's only 3 players left that hold scholarship offers from the University of Texas that are uncommitted. The first one is going to be from McKinney North, J.J. Henry, who's going to be a speedy slot receiver who racked up over 1,400 yards en route to 19 touchdowns his junior campaign. Very impressive young wideout. The other is going to be Mr. Antonio Harmon, the 6'4", 205 specimen who has been eyeballing Ole Miss ever since I started this channel way back in April, has been crystal ball to the Rebels ever since then. And with the third being the 5-star recruit who I've heard not one word ever since I've started this channel. Of course, that's going to be Emeka Egbuka, the 5-star from Washington State. He's listed as cool as his recruiting status, and as I did aforemention earlier, I have not heard one word about his recruitment since starting the channel. Talking about Mr. Harmon, though, ever since the commitment by Jackson to the University of Arkansas, I'm sure the screws has tightened up a little bit. Maybe his ear is leaning a little bit more towards Texas. But as of right now, I do definitely see him going to the Rebels, as he has been a lean for that way for most of this year. Now, I do know that Texas has come in constant contact with wide receiver JoJo Earl, who has been committed for the University of LSU for quite some time now. But the Bayou Bengals have had quite some turmoil as of recent in the locker room, as players are opting out due to COVID. Wide receiver Jamar Chase and defensive tackle Tyler Shelvin are going to be the biggest names as of recent. And opting out due to COVID is nothing to say negatively about the university. It's why they're opting out due to COVID. In my personal opinion, I think they're opting out because they don't feel very safe in their environment down there in Bayou Bengal land, down there in Baton Rouge. So I think that players are picking up and packing it up, possibly to go to the NFL early by opting up, and they're also transferring out because they do not feel safe. And for a player's coach in Ed Orgeron to have turmoil in the locker room, that is a big-time deal. Texas already has 2 commits in the 2021 cycle at the wide receiver position and probably need for 1 more, if not 2. The first commit is going to be from New Orleans, Louisiana, Casey Kane, who has no problem at all creating his own separation from the defensive backs, is a big-time playmaker in the red zone, and is a Mr. Go-Get-It target, my kind of guy. The second is going to be Jaden Alexis from Pompano Beach, Florida. He can play in the slot and on the outside as an outside receiver. For that reason, I see Jaden Alexis being the first out of these 2 good for spending time on the 40 acres. Going to get some early playing time, in my personal opinion, coming from Jaden Alexis, a.k.a. the Prez. So what does this commitment by Ketron Jackson to the University of Arkansas mean to me? Well, to me, it means full court press time on J.J. Henry. Antonio Harmon is out of state and is probably looking to go to Ole Miss, play for the Rebs. J.J. Henry, he's uncommitted. He's crystal ball to no one. He has interest at the University of Texas, in my personal opinion. He has done a very good job, him and his father, masking that interest. What do you guys think? Who do you think will be the next wide receiver to commit to the University of Texas? Full court press on J.J. Henry time, that's what I say. I'm talking about phone calls, Zoom meetings. Social media is going to blow up big time for J.J. That's what I'm thinking. So for Texas and the University of Texas, and for J.J. Henry, it's time to holla at you, boy! And for me, keep your head in the swivel and your eyes on Texas. I'm out. Hook 'em up, guys.
Ready, be ready, be ready for y'all.
Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.